Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to PPS Theory Sessions. By the way, it's theory, but we are going for more practical here to have a look at more examples. And I also have received multiple feedbacks from students that, sir, we want more practice and more examples on loop. So let us go for a few more examples on loop and conditional structures here. One more lecture to have programs related to looping structure and conditional structure, conditional branching, conditional looping. Okay, so this is the program we were working in previous session, right? And we ended up with a minor problem. Let me run this code, explain it, run it, and show you where the problem occurred, right? So we started with getting two numbers and calculated 4 operations and printed those answers. And then we moved towards asking user, what do you want to do? Whether you want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Now, when we ask user to enter a choice, we need to go for switch case. So based on a case, we perform some operation and we print it. Now, all these things will be done once only, right? If we want to repeat this, then again we want to go for a looping structure. So this entire thing we want to repeat. So we put it inside a loop. Now you may go for while loop, you may go for for loop, you may go for do while loop, depending on your comfortability and your preference. Now here we say that at least if user is executing this code, then he want to run this code at least once, and then he will decide whether he wants to go for next or not. And because of that reason, we go for do while loop here. So this will be performed once, and then we ask our user to enter y or n. So do you want to continue, yes or no? And we take that character from user, and then we compare. If user has given y, if repeat is y, then we continue this loop. And if user enters n or anything other than y, if anything comes other than y, we will stop this loop and terminate the program. And that's what we wanted to do, but we could not achieve that thing. Let us see why and how. So if I run this code, it is going to, oh, connection reset. Let me reload this page. This kind of problem occurs when we go for online compilers. If connection is reset, then program will not be running perfectly. So again, I run this code. Let's wait. Server lost again. Something is problem with online GDB server today. Well, again. I don't know what is the problem with server. If it not runs, we will use the other one. Yeah. Nirmal and other students are suggesting that we should go for other online program. Well, let me copy this entire code and we can simply go for online C compilers, Google, and instead of online GDB, let us today use Programmise. Okay. Well, so I can simply paste my entire code here and we can run this code. So it says, please enter number 1, let's say 3, enter number 2 is, let's say 4, and I want to go for add operation, and here it works. Now, yesterday, or sorry, not exactly yesterday, but in previous session, I told you, this depends on which compiler or the environment you are running your code. Sometimes what happens is when you read a character, it reads that character from the buffer memory and it will not hold your program there for you to give some input. वो वहां पे रुकेगा नहीं, आपके इनपुट के लिए रुकेगा नहीं, बफर में से कुछ डेटा लेके आगे बढ़ जाएगा. Now that depends on compilers and all, right? जैसे कि हमने देखा था ऑनलाइन जीडीबी में ये प्रॉब्लम हुआ हमें. It didn't stop there to take our input. प्रोग्रामीज में ये अटक गया यहाँ पे. Until and unless I give y और n, वो अभी यहाँ पे रुका हुआ है. टर्बो सी में भी कभी कभी आपको ये प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है, वो कैरेक्टर लेने के लिए रुकेगा नहीं, आपका कोड आगे बढ़ जाएगा. अब वो क्या करता है एक्चुअली, जो बफर मेमोरी है उसमें से कुछ कैरेक्टर उठा लेगा. अगर वो कैरेक्टर y है तो रिपीट कर देगा, y नहीं है तो एंड कर देगा प्रोग्राम को. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम वी फेस्ड. अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है देन व्हाट यू शुड डू. इफ यू आर यूजिंग टर्बो सी, तो टर्बो सी में console input output dot h file है, conio.h, and that file has a function f flush और उसके अंदर आप stdin standard input दे सकते हो. So this is going to flush your buffer memory. इसके अलावा आप ये भी कर सकते हो, you can go for I believe it is flush all. It is going to flush all the buffer memories. So आप ये कर सकते हो. Now it is only for Turbo C. मान लो कि ऑनलाइन जीडीबी में तो वो कंसोल इनपुट आउटपुट वाला फाइल है ही नहीं. देन व्हाट यू शुड डू, उस वक्त आप एक सिंपल ट्रिक है, हैक है एक तरह से, %c से पहले एक स्पेस रख दो. सिंपल. तो क्या होगा, वो बफर से वो स्पेस रीड कर लेगा और ये %c जो है वो यूजर के पास से लेगा. सो दैट्स व्हाट यू कैन डू. वेल इफ योर प्रोग्राम रन्स परफेक्टली देन आप यहाँ पे ऐसे ही रन कर सकते हो. लेट्स से वी से y, yes I want to continue, then it should go for iteration. Let us see if that works, because I have edited my code multiple times before I go for this one. Let's rerun this code now. So value is 3. Let's say 3. Second number, let's wait. Even this program is not working properly today. Even this is not working properly. Let us clear. Let me reload this also. Okay, so paste the same code, again run it, and let us give number 1, number 2. I want to perform add operation, and it asks me to enter y or n. If I say yes, I want to continue, then oh, -2 y not found. Well, I don't know from where this comes. We take that character in this repeat variable and it should run this thing. Even this program is having some problem. Well, it's not needed that we always need to initialize REP with something. It is not needed because before we compare REP, we take input for REP. So if you initialize it or not, doesn't matter. Fine. Still, I prefer online GDB. If it runs today, then we won't be having any problem here. Hopefully, let's see the server will run. Yeah, and we will be able to run this program also. Shit, no. Well, in that case, we need to go for some other tutorials point. Code Chef is also there. Isa is also there. Yeah, we can also run it on VS Code. I do have that setup also, but I don't want to make students confused with different environment. Even my network is slow today. So the entire program, and let me run this thing. Yeah, Joy is saying try it in Turbo C, but look, I'm using Mac OS. I don't have Turbo C installed in this one. Okay. Well, even this Pisa didn't wait for me to insert number 1 and number 2 also. Well, that's the problem. Still, as I said, I prefer this one if this runs properly today. I don't know what is the problem. Let's see if new project we can run here. But it is able to run a new project. Yeah, I know that probably it is the problem of network today at my end. Yeah, it worked. Let me. Still, it is slow in execution. Let us run. Oh, like it's a network problem. Just wait. Wait for a while. Let me have a look at if I can go for a VS Code. Okay. Yeah, just a minute. It works. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so this is the VS Code editor. Let's go through this one because this works perfectly. Okay, so today we will be doing all the program here, let's say. Fine. Well, let me show you. If you want to use VS Code, then VS Code, Visual Studio Code Editor. It's a it's an editor given by Microsoft, free to use, available. It is just an editor, okay? It is not IDE, which means inside this one you have to have some extra extensions to be installed. So inside this, if you go to extensions, here you will find all the extensions. You can search it and you can have existing extensions installed. So one thing, you should have C++ extension. It is going to highlight your code properly so that you can understand what you are writing, and color coding will be done properly. And the second thing you will require is this code runner extension. Now this is going to run your code. Okay, so these two things is required inside VS Code if you want to run your codes. So going back to this one, test is my workspace folder, and inside that I have main.c file. Okay, and this is what the file I want to run. Now when you have these extensions installed, .c extension file you can run with this play button here, run code. Okay, code runner, when you install, you will have this play button here, run code button here, and with this button you can execute this code. So look, this is the default code. I have %c directly, right? And let us run this code now. So it is going to run your code here. Well, let me clear it and then let us run it again. So it says, please enter number 1. So we enter number 1, then number 2, then it will ask us to add numbers. So add, subtract, multiply, divide. I want to go for add. And then it prints 7 answer, but it didn't stop for me to enter a number or enter a y or n here. So that the same problem we faced here. What we can do is, as I told you, a simple hack. Just have a space before %c. Let us save and let us run this code again. Number 1, number 2, I want to add. So answer is 7, and now it is asking me to enter y or n. So let's say if I want to continue still, then I will give y. It will ask me number 1 again. So second time I say number 1 is 4, number 2 is 5, and I want to go for subtraction, then answer is -1. And still it is asking me, do you want to continue, yes or no? If I say yes, then it'll again ask me number 1, let's say 2, number 2 is 5, I want to go for multiplication, so option is 3, and it'll print the answer 10. And again it'll ask, do you want to continue? Now if I enter something which is not equals to y, not only n, other than y, anything I enter, it is going to terminate my program. So now program has been terminated. So that was the point I wanted to show you. If you are using Turbo C, you may go for flush all or F flush standard input. If you are using any other editor like this, VS Code or online editors or something, and if it did not take input from your standard input, then you can go for this hack. Well, so that's one thing. Now let us have a look at few other examples. So yeah, look, Pankaj, you are saying that clear screen, again, clear screen method is a part of console input output header file, and it is available inside Turbo C only. It is going to clear your output screen. Now it is only needed in Turbo C because if we go for this kind of editors, we are working on terminal. If you go for online editors, every time you will have a new terminal. So that's what you can go for, right? Clear screen is only needed in Turbo C. Otherwise, we don't want to clear our entire terminal, and it is not possible to direct C here. Let's go for another example now. So this is one. Now let me get rid of entire code And let us think about, let's go for a program something like which will calculate a series. Now let me take one more program from the practical list. 1 divide by 1 factorial plus 1 divide by 2 factorial plus 1 divide by 3 factorial plus, and so on. You are going for 1 divide by up to n factorial. Now this is what you want to calculate, for example. Then one thing, first we need to understand how we can calculate factorial. And if you know how to calculate factorial, then whatever answer you have as a factorial, you will go for the 1 divide by operation. And then you can say whatever answer you achieve from that calculation, you are going to add it to the other calculations. So this is your first term, this is your second term, this is your third term, this is your nth term, and this is the series. And we want to calculate calculate this series, and what should be the answer. We want to have a look at that. Yeah. So we'll go step by step. First of all, let us say how we can calculate factorial. I believe I have described that. I don't know whether it was lab or lecture. Let's go for factorial again. We want to calculate factorial, okay? And it is going to be the factorial for integer numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Correct? So factorial will also be the integer. So we will require loop control variable I, and we will require, let's say, fact to store the factorial value. And let us initialize this by 1. Initially, let us make it factorial 1. Okay. Now, first of all, let us ask user which number you want to calculate the factorial of. So we'll go for printf, and let's say please enter a number, and let us take that number n. So I'm going to declare variable n also. So we'll go for scanf %d, and I'm going to store that value in variable n, so %n, right? Once we have that value n, we want to calculate factorial of n. If user gives 5, then answer should be 120. That's what we require. Now, how do we have that 5 factorial equals to 120? So let us understand. It is nothing but we are going to multiply all the numbers starting from 1 up to the given number. 1 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 4, multiplied by 5 will give you the 120 answer. Right? So what are we doing here? We are multiplying numbers repeatedly. And when it comes repeatedly, we'll go for a loop. So now we know that we require loop. Okay. Now from where to where? Starting from 1 up to the given number. So we'll say, okay, I will start from 1. Okay. I will go up to n less than equals to n, and I go for I plus plus. Okay. So this is my for loop, and this was for understanding only. Okay. Let me comment this out. 5 factorial is equals to 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 up to 5 equals to 120 is the answer. So how do we do that? We initialize I with 1 because we want to start with 1. We go up to less than equals to n, up to 5. And every time we do I plus plus. Now inside this, what I need to do is I want to multiply the value of I to the existing calculation. That is my fact. So fact equals to fact multiply by I. This is what we want. Fact equals to, fact equals to fact multiply by I. This is what we want to perform. so that finally we can have that factorial answer. Let us print that answer here. Factorial of given number, so percentage d, is the final answer, percentage d. The first percentage d, I want to print number n, and second percentage d, I want to print the answer fact. So this is my code right now. Okay. Let me save this code and let us try it out. So I'm going to run this code and it will ask me, please enter a number. If I give 5, then it gives me 120 answer. Now after that, this percentage is nothing but completion of my program, and at the end it simply gives me the command prompt back. But as you can see, factorial of 5 is 120. That's the perfect answer we have. If I mix less n here, then you won't see that percentage at the end after 120 actually. Yeah, so 120 is the answer. So that works properly, and that's how we can calculate factorial of any number. Now if I want to short this statement, then I can go for shorthand operator, assignment operator, star equals to also. Now this will still work. Let me just show you. Factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, now this is nothing but shorthand assignment operators, if you remember. So we have written code for finding a factorial. तो ये एक्चुअल अब हमारा जो डेफिनेशन था उसमें से हमने फैक्टोरियल कैसे मिलता है वो पता कर लिया. दिस इज हाउ वी कैन कैलकुलेट फैक्टोरियल ऑफ एनी गिवन नंबर. तो हमें फैक्टोरियल मिल गया. जो भी फैक्टोरियल मिलता है उसको आप 1 डिवाइड बाय करोगे तो आपको ये एक टर्म मिलेगा. So for that, let me have float variable, float one term. Okay, I'm going to have it as a term, and let me initialize it with 0 because every term I'm going to add. So submission sorry addition के लिए unit value क्या कहलाएगी? 1. When you go for multiplication, unit value is 1. Addition के लिए unit value is 0. So that's why I initialize term with 0. तो अब हमें क्या करना है? फैक्टोरियल वैल्यू, तो हमें 1 डिवाइड बाय फैक्ट करना है, और इस कैलकुलेशन को हम टर्म के अंदर सेव करेंगे. बट ऑलरेडी जो टर्म है उसके अंदर हम ऐड करेंगे. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू डू. व्हाट वी वांट टू डू इज एग्जिस्टिंग टर्म के अंदर हम नई टर्म जो हमने कैलकुलेट की उसको ऐड करेंगे, और नई टर्म क्या होगी? 1 डिवाइड बाय फैक्ट, 1 डिवाइड बाय फैक्टोरियल. अब 1 भी इंटीजर है, फैक्ट भी इंटीजर है, तो ये कैलकुलेशन तो इंटीजर हो जाएगा. एक्सप्लिसिट आपको फ्लोट करना होगा. नाउ यू मे गो फॉर 1.0 फ्लोट, देन इट विल वर्क. अदरवाइज आप फैक्ट को टाइप कास्ट कर सकते हो फ्लोट में. नाउ इसको भी मैं शॉर्ट कर दूं तो इट विल बी इक्वल्स टू समथिंग लाइक दिस, प्लस इक्वल्स टू. ओके, टर्म प्लस इक्वल्स टू 1.0 डिवाइड बाय फैक्टोरियल. तो ये हमें एक टर्म देगा. इट इज गोइंग टू गिव द करंट टर्म, and whatever final calculation you do, let's say not this term, we want it to have answer, and answer is going to be 0, and I'm going to save it in answer here, because we will have this term as a term calculation, whether this is first term, second term, fourth term, fifth term, and so on. So we'll keep this term as a loop control variable, another loop that we are going to require, and inside that we are going to calculate this answer. Okay, So this is what, or this is how we can calculate the answer, but this is one term. We want to repeat this process. We want to repeat this entire process. So ये पूरी process जो है उसको मैं एक loop के अंदर रख दूंगा. I'm going to have outer loop, one more loop here, and I will place entire thing inside this loop. Okay. Now कितनी terms चाहिए? So we will start with term equals to 1. First term से start करके I'll go up to term less than equals to n, and then I'll go for term plus plus. So I'm going to repeat this outer for loop for total n terms, because we have to go from 1 factorial to n factorial. Okay, I'll explain this entire code once we complete it, so just be patient. So हमने एक outer loop चलाया because we want to go for number of terms, एक से ज़्यादा terms है. अब हर एक टर्म के अंदर अगर ये पहला टर्म है तो 1 फैक्टोरियल, दूसरा टर्म है तो 2 फैक्टोरियल, तीसरा टर्म है तो 3 फैक्टोरियल एंड सो ऑन. तो ये जो फैक्टोरियल है वो हर बार 5 फैक्टोरियल नहीं होगा, वो हर बार n फैक्टोरियल नहीं होगा. वो कितना फैक्टोरियल होगा? इट विल बी अप टू टर्म फैक्टोरियल. सो i इक्वल्स टू 1 से लेके टर्म तक जाओ एंड यू कैलकुलेट योर फैक्टोरियल. अब जब भी आप फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट करने आते हो, आपका पुराना फैक्टोरियल फिर से 1 होना चाहिए. सो डोंट फॉरगेट टू इनिशियलाइज योर फैक्ट वेरिएबल बैक टू 1 एट दिस प्लेस. सो व्हेन वी स्टार्ट अ न्यू टर्म, हम फैक्ट को 1 करने के बाद फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट करेंगे, और जो फैक्टोरियल मिलेगा उसको 1.0 डिवाइड बाय फैक्ट करके आंसर में ऐड करते जाएंगे. तो ये आउटर लूप n बार चलेगा. n बार आप 1 डिवाइड बाय फैक्टोरियल करोगे. व्हाट विल बी द फैक्ट? तो वो फैक्टोरियल भी टर्म पे डिपेंड करेगा. पहली बार वो 1 फैक्टोरियल, दूसरी बार 2 फैक्टोरियल, तीसरी बार 3 फैक्टोरियल एंड सो ऑन, and it is going to calculate this answer, and answer is float. Now let us print that here. Okay, we are going to print our answer, and we'll say that I'm simply going to print answer here, percentage f, and let us have 0.2f, and that's it. Let us try to run this code once and see what happens. So I'll run this one. It asks me to enter a number. Let us go for 3 terms only. So I will say number is 3. I'm going to run this code for n equals to 3, and it gives us oh, what happened? Oh, I didn't save that code, sorry. Let me save and then run, and then 3. So it gave us 1.67 answer. Okay, let me make here again. I run, and I'm going to have it for 3. So 1.67 is the answer. And now let me again explain this entire code so that your queries will be sorted out. Multiple students have asked multiple queries, so let me go through that thing also. Ravi is saying, please slide down, sir. I don't understand, Ravi. Are you able to see my entire screen, the entire output? Vyom is asking, yeah, okay, thank you, Viraj. Vyom is asking, can we install Conio.h like code runner in C, C++? No, that depends on the entire editor. So you cannot simply fetch that Conio.h here. Fine. Vyom is also asking, sir, can we go for x into x plus 1 into x plus 2 into x plus 3 and so on? Yes, we can do that program. Let's see if this is done. After that, I'll show you that program also. Yeah, Pankaj is saying by the help of loop, yes, we can do it. Manav is asking why do we write answer equals to 0? We can't write only answer. Let me explain that thing. Look, what you do is you use shorthand assignment operator at this place with fact and with answer. जहां पे भी आप शॉर्ट हैंड यूज करते हो उसका मतलब यह है कि फैक्ट इक्वल्स टू फैक्ट इनटू आई. सो वो एग्जिस्टिंग फैक्टोरियल वैल्यू को कैलकुलेट मींस कंसीडर करेगा. And at this place it is going to be answer equals to answer plus 1 by fact. So in your calculation existing answer जो भी होगा वो भी consider हो जाएगा. अगर आप उसको initialize नहीं करते हो तो पहली बार उसकी existing value क्या होगी. मान लो कि आपने आंसर 0 नहीं किया और यहाँ पे आप इवेल्युएट करते हो आंसर इक्वल्स टू आंसर प्लस 1 बाय फैक्ट. सो एट दैट टाइम फर्स्ट टाइम आंसर की वैल्यू क्या होगी. हमने तो कुछ दिया ही नहीं उसको. वेल इन दैट केस क्या होगा, मेमोरी के अंदर जो गार्बेज वैल्यू पड़ी होगी, वी कॉल इट गार्बेज बिकॉज हमने नहीं रखी वो. सो इट इज गोइंग टू टेक दैट गार्बेज वैल्यू और उसके साथ सम कर देगा, प्लस कर देगा. Now, to prevent that problem, we initialize all these variables with some predefined value. अब एक्चुअल में हमें वो चाहिए ही नहीं था, जस्ट टू हैव अ सेफर साइड हम वहाँ पे कुछ इनिशलाइज कर रहे हैं. तो अगर मैं प्लस ऑपरेशन करने जा रहा हूँ तो प्लस के लिए यूनिट नंबर है 0 और अगर मैं मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑपरेशन करने जा रहा हूँ तो मल्टीप्लिकेशन के लिए यूनिट नंबर है 1. So we will initialize our variable with those unit numbers. Okay, so well, those were the queries. Now let me explain this code one more time. There are number of terms. ये n decide करेगा कि हमें कितनी terms लेनी है. So please enter a number of terms. इस तरह से हम मैसेज दे सकते हैं यूजर को. And user is going to give us a number of terms n. तो इतनी terms calculate होनी चाहिए. So we run one loop to calculate all the terms. term equals to 1 से लेके term less than equals to n तक, term plus plus. ठीक है. जैसे ही मैं उसके अंदर जाता हूँ which means मैं एक term calculate करने जा रहा हूँ. Now what is that term? तो एक term है मेरा 1 divide by 1 factorial, 1 divide by 2 factorial, 1 divide by 3 factorial and so on. तो मेरा जो टर्म है वो कुछ इस तरह से 1 डिवाइड बाय समथिंग फैक्टोरियल. सो टू परफॉर्म दिस वी नीड टू हैव अ फैक्टोरियल वैल्यू. तो पहले हम फैक्टोरियल फाइंड करेंगे. अब फैक्टोरियल कैसे मिलेगा, 1 से लेके गिवन नंबर तक आप जब मल्टीप्लाई करते हो सारे नंबर्स इट गिव्स यू द फैक्टोरियल. सो we can have like another for loop starting from 1 up to the term. Why? क्योंकि पहले टर्म में 1 फैक्टोरियल है, दूसरे टर्म में 2 फैक्टोरियल है, तीसरे टर्म में 3 फैक्टोरियल है एंड सो ऑन. सो ith टर्म में i फैक्टोरियल होना चाहिए. सो ये इंटरनल लूप जो है वो हम टर्म तक चलाएंगे एंड वी कैलकुलेट अ फैक्टोरियल. वंस वी हैव दैट फैक्टोरियल 1 डिवाइड बाय फैक्ट करके एग्जिस्टिंग आंसर जो है उसमें ऐड कर दो. सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन अचीव दैट थिंग. Now Vishnu is asking if we write answer equals to answer multiply equals to 1 divided by fact, answer multiply equals to, no, look, you cannot do that because what is your answer? Answer is 1 divided by fact. Okay, 1 divided by fact के साथ आपको प्लस ऑपरेशन करना है. दैट्स व्हाट आवर सीरीज इज. आप एक बार सीरीज देखो, जितनी भी टर्म्स हैं वो ऐड होनी चाहिए, मल्टीप्लाई नहीं. फाइन. सो आंसर के साथ आप मल्टीप्लाई नहीं कर सकते हो. I think I'm clear, Vishnu. So you cannot write answer equals to multiply 1 divided by fact, and even you cannot write equals to multiply. You have to write multiply equals to. That is what the shorthand operator is. एक और पॉइंट आपको बता दूं, You see here less than equals to sign, and it is not something which you actually see always. Okay, ज़्यादातर आप जब less than equals to लिखते हो, so it is something like this one. Less than अलग रहेगा, equals to अलग रहेगा. Okay, लेकिन जैसे ही मैं ये space हटाता हूँ, it is going to change it. Now that is only because of my editor. मैंने स्पेशल फॉन्ट्स इंस्टॉल करके रखे हैं इस एडिटर के अंदर. ओके, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रीज़न मुझे वो सारे ऑपरेटर्स इस तरह से देखने को मिलते हैं, बट इट इज़ एक्चुअली लेस देन इक्वल्स टू. Okay, now that's just because of fonts that I have installed. So let us not go in depth of that. आपके एडिटर में आपको लेस देन और इक्वल्स टू अलग ही दिखेंगे. Because of those fonts I do have multiple things like double equals to, तो ठीक है, join हो गए. Triple equals to मुझे इस तरह से दिखेगा, then less than equals to इस तरह से, greater than equals to भी बदल जाएगा, not equals to भी बदल जाएगा इस तरह से. So that is just because of fonts, so don't be scary of that part. Okay, yeah, so this is one more program we have done. We have gone for series. अब मान लो कि जो where is the other series? Yeah, Vyom asked us to go for another series. Let me have that thing here. This is the series Vyom wanted us to do. X into x plus 1 into x plus 2 into and so on. तो यहाँ पे आपके टर्म्स क्या हो जाएंगे? Well, definitely we need to ask user कि आपको कितने टर्म्स लेने हैं. ठीक है, तो आप n टर्म्स तक जाओगे. Now this is going to be something like आपका पहला टर्म हो जाएगा x plus 0, दूसरा टर्म आपका हो जाएगा x plus 1, तीसरा टर्म आपका है x plus 2 and so on. तो आप कहाँ तक जाओगे? You will go for x plus n. लेकिन अगर यूजर n टर्म बोलता है तो आप जाओगे एक्चुअली n minus 1 तक. ओके, सो ऑल दीज आर द टर्म्स. जब आप एक टर्म आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हो तो आपको पता चलता है कि टर्म के अंदर क्या करना है. सो विल आस्क यूजर प्लीज एंटर नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स. आपने n ले लिया, टर्म इक्वल्स टू 1 से लेके टर्म लेस देन इक्वल्स टू n तक जाएंगे. लेकिन अब आप यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे आप 0 से स्टार्ट करते हो, तो यहाँ पे भी आप बोल सकते हो कि फाइन, आई विल स्टार्ट विथ 0 and I'll go up to n minus 1. That's what we have decided. We'll go up to n minus 1, right? 0 से लेके n minus 1 तक जाऊंगा. So ये मेरी terms define हो जाएंगी. Now inside that term what I want to have value of x also. x भी चाहिए होगी, x भी चाहिए होगा. So let us take x here. So please enter value of x और उसको हम x में लेते हैं. तो we need to have one more variable here, x. Fine. So we take variable x, then we take number of terms, and then we are going to perform the calculation. Now this calculation is going to be something different. ये नहीं होगा. क्या होगा अंदर? You have x जो यूजर ने दिया है, फाइन. उसके साथ आपको टर्म नंबर ऐड करना है, and then you are going to finally calculate your sum. No, not a sum, multiplication, because all these terms are multiplied. So हमारा आंसर जो है, okay, I'm going to have my answer into equals to, and what my single term will be? My single term will be x plus this term number. That's all. We need not to have fact here. So let me remove that fact. So this is going to calculate that thing. X प्लस पहली बार 0 हो जाएगा और जो भी आपने कैलकुलेट किया वो गया आंसर में. दूसरी बार x प्लस 1 हो जाएगा. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी x प्लस 1. आंसर में मल्टीप्लाई करो. x प्लस 2 आंसर में मल्टीप्लाई करो. x प्लस 3 आंसर में मल्टीप्लाई करो, एंड सो ऑन. So if we save this code and run it, it will ask value of x. Let me have 2, and let us go for total 3 terms. So oh well, something on something. Oh, if answer is 0, here we are going for multiplication. तो फिर multiplication के लिए unit number 1 होना चाहिए, remember. So I change it and then initialize by 1. That's correct, Pankaj. So x is 2 and total terms 3. 24 is the answer. Now why? So if you simply want to have a look at that thing, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? 2 plus 0, 2 plus 1, 2 plus 2. So this is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 4. And then you multiply all these things. So 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 will give you the final answer, 24. And that's what we got here, 24. Okay. Yeah, so that's one more example of loop. Okay. Any more queries here? Okay, so we still have time, so let us have one more program. And in this one, let's go for some conditional term calculations. Let us have the same example. Something like 1 divided by x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 minus 1 divided by x plus 2 plus, and so on. Look, try to understand what we are doing here. We have number of terms. We have a series, so we'll require for loop. We have number of terms, right? So we have a for loop here. How many terms? So we take value of n. Okay. Then in each term we have value of x. So हमने x भी ले लिया. Now what we do is, this is actually going to be something like x plus 0. That's what we have gone for. तो हमें वो भी मिल रहा है. x plus term. So x plus 0, x plus 1, x plus 2, ये तो हमारे पास already है. Now we don't want to multiply it to the answer directly. हमें क्या करना है उसके साथ? We actually want to calculate 1 divide by this thing. और division operation है, कोई एक float होना चाहिए. So let us make 1.0 here और bracket कर दिया. So this is my one term. एक term हो गया ये. एक term का calculation हो गया. 1 divided by something, 1 divided by something, 1 divided by something, and so on. ठीक है? Now you're not going to add it always. एक बार आप add करोगे तो दूसरी बार आप subtract करोगे. Now this is where you need to think about how you are going to achieve that thing. Okay, so you have to think. आप एक बार उसको add करोगे तो दूसरी बार उसको subtract करोगे. How you are going to achieve this thing? Anyone? Any idea? जो ये calculation मैंने किया, इसको एक बार मुझे plus equals to करना है तो दूसरी बार मुझे minus equals to करना है. I cannot always add this thing. So मेरे आंसर के अंदर एक बार वो प्लस माइनस होना चाहिए और एक बार वो माइनस इक्वल्स टू होना चाहिए. So how are we going to achieve that thing? Yeah, multiple replies. Manav is saying multiply your term with -1. Okay, बट हर बार अगर टर्म को -1 से मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा तो वो ऐड नहीं, हर बार सब्ट्रैक्ट करेगा. -1 raised to n, that we can write -1 raised to 1 -1 रहेगा, -1 raised to 2 वो +1 हो जाएगा, -1 raised to 3 -1 रहेगा, लेकिन -1 raised to 4 +1 हो जाएगा. So yes, we can go for that vyom, that's something which we can write. लेकिन ये भी सोचो कि अगर पावर आप लिखते हो तो वो पावर ऑपरेटर तो हमारे पास है नहीं, पावर करने के लिए हमें एक और कोड लिखना पड़ेगा, और वी नीड टू गो फॉर math.h हेडर फाइल, और वहां से POW मेथड यूज कर सकते हैं. दैट्स करेक्ट. विष्णु इज सजेस्टिंग वी कैन यूज POW मेथड, बट वी डोंट हैव दैट आइडिया राइट नाउ. इन एनी वे, अगर आप वो POW मेथड भी यूज करते हो तो वो एक एडिशनल कैलकुलेशन हो गया ना, पावर कैलकुलेट करने जाना पड़ेगा, एंड इट विल टेक सम टाइम. मुझे वो एक्स्ट्रा टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करना है. इफ यू कैन अचीव दिस विथ सिंपल कंडीशन, आप यहीं पे डिसीजन ले सकते हो प्लस या माइनस, तो पावर क्यों करने जाना. सो वेल, पावर सॉल्यूशन इज करेक्ट, वी कैन गो फॉर पावर सॉल्यूशन, बट इट इज नॉट नीडेड. यहाँ पे तो हमें सिर्फ ऑड इवन देखना है. Finding odd even is much better compared to going for the power operator or power calculation. So as simple as that, आप क्या करोगे, पहला जो भी टर्म है वो 0 के साथ ऐड होगा. तो ये नॉट या व्हेन वी गो फॉर एडिशन फाइनल, तो यहाँ पे मैं 0 ले लूँगा, बिकॉज आंसर जो है वो प्लस या माइनस हो रहा है, तो यहाँ पे 0 ले लो. अब यहाँ पे हमें ये देखना है कि ये वाला जो है फर्स्ट आंसर जो हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे वो 0 के साथ ऐड होना चाहिए, दूसरा भी ऐड होना चाहिए, लेकिन उसके बाद जो है वो माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस होता चला जाएगा. सो हाउ कैन वी डू दैट थिंग. अब यहाँ पे हमें ये कंफ्यूजन मिल जाएगा कि ये कैसे करें. प्लस पहली बार प्लस है, दूसरी बार भी प्लस है, और देन अपडेट. अगर ये इस तरह से होता, मान लो कि ये इस तरह से माइनस एंड प्लस, this is the sequence, then it is very much simple. Let me show you that thing. पहली टर्म ऐड करो, दूसरी टर्म सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, तीसरी टर्म ऐड करो, चौथी टर्म सब्ट्रैक्ट करो. तो आपको सिर्फ ये देखना है कि आपका टर्म कौन सा है, राइट. सो यू कैन ओनली सिंपली हैव इफ कंडीशन हियर, और इफ में आप चेक करोगे, अगर आपका टर्म परफेक्ट है तो ऐड करो, या तो फिर एल्स में जाके सब्ट्रैक्ट करो. सिंपल. Based on your condition, either you are going to add it or you are going to subtract it. अब ये condition क्या होगा, फर्स्ट टर्म और टर्म नंबर 0 है, सो ये हो गया 0, ये होगा 2. So when you have even numbers 0, 2, 4, you are going to add it, and when you have odd numbers 1, 3, 5, you are going to subtract it. So odd even check करने के लिए you simply modulo your term number by 2. If it is 0, तो वो even number है, and if it is odd, okay, if it is odd, तो वो यहाँ पे चला जाएगा. Simple one. Yeah, Shubham has posted the entire solution. Oh, well, Shubham is sending, right now chat is enabled with host only, so other students will not be able to see that solution, Shubham. But that's correct. Whatever solution you have gone, that's the same thing I have written here. Yeah. So that's how we can go for. Let us see if this works. Oh, What happened? This does not support modulo operator. Not. Let me have. It has a problem with term. Modulo 2. Term is there. Why it cannot perform modulo operation here? And we are going for term only. Let us have term integer only. Yeah. So modulo 2 works now. Okay. So we go for execution. Value of x is, let's say, 3, and I want to go for 3 terms. Then it gives me answer 0.28. Now you can calculate. X is 3, term is 3, and this is going to be something like 1 divided by 3 minus 1 divided by 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 2 is 5. So calculate this thing. 1 divided by 3 minus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 divided by 5. That will be the final answer. Must be equals to 0.28. That's what we do here. Yeah, so that's what we have seen. We have seen multiple loop related programs, and inside that loop we have also seen how we can use if else condition. Okay, so hope that students were having or requesting for more for loop examples. They are satisfied now. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you everyone. Thank you for being part of this session here. We are done. Time is also over. You may leave this meeting now and join the next one. In next lecture, we will start a new unit. Thank you. Thank you everyone.